So first off, this statistic is one, wrong, and two, also misleading.
That stat is wrong, but it's her video that's misleading.
So the CDC puts about 80% of successful suicides to men.
Accurate so far.
However, that's still a misleading statistic, and I'll explain why.
And let me correct you as we go along.
Men and women attempt suicide at roughly the same rate.
No, women actually attempt it over 2 times the rate. But keep going.
However, it really just comes down to the most common methods that they use. Men are more likely to use things like firearms. Women are more likely to use things like medication.
Men will use more violent methods, and there's a reason behind that. But the firearm claim only applies to America. Now, the stats of unaliving rates are echoed across many other countries that do not have firearms, like the UK, Australia, France, and so forth. 80% men, every single one of them. Asphyxiation is at the top of that list, and that's second in America. And just to add some extra statistical knowledge in my response video, in terms of women who are successful at unaliving themselves in the US, 32% in recent stats show that it was done through poisoning, and 29% shows that it was done through a firearm. So they're not far off each other.
Men are more likely to use things like firearms. Women are more likely to use things like medication. One of those things allows for a slightly larger window for somebody to find them and offer them assistance. It's not the firearm.
It also opens up a window of opportunity for someone to change their mind and call for assistance, which is something that you've completely left out.
And you know why women are more likely to use something like medication? Because they're concerned about the cleanup after they're dead. And they don't want to have an additional burden on their family by asking them to clean up.
Even though there are a small number of reports of women saying it's about presentability, there's absolutely no evidence in anything that she's just claimed at the end there. In fact, it shows a bit of ignorance, because for anyone who has actually attempted to unalive themselves, one of the driving key factors behind it is the fact that you want to cease being a burden towards others. There's a large reality that there's a lot of women that will take overdoses and then contact emergency services afterwards. It doesn't take much to look into. Speak to anyone on an emergency front line and they will tell you. Men will just, they'll go without warning. Although a lot of reports do show that within the last 6 months, they've tried to get help. Stop saying things on the internet that you just think are true. It's really misleading.